How do you implement API versioning with query parameters? Imagine you're building a system that needs to grow and change over time without breaking existing users. How do you let clients access different versions of your API smoothly? One way is by using query parameters. API versioning with query parameters means adding a version number as a part of the URL's query string. Instead of changing the URL path, you include something like version is equal to 1 at the end of your endpoint. For example, api.example.com/products version is equal to 1 will fetch data based on version 1 of your API. To set this up in backend development, first, design your API to accept a version parameter in the query string. When a request comes in, your server reads this parameter to decide which version of the logic or data schema to use. If the client doesn't specify a version, your server should default to the latest stable version, so users always get a working experience. Next, maintain separate code paths or handlers for each version. This way, you can evolve your API without breaking older clients. For example, version 1 might return product data in a simple format, while version 2 could include additional details. Your server routes requests to the correct handler based on the version parameter. Keep the main resource URL the same. The only thing that changes is the query parameter. This approach keeps your resource identifiers stable, which is good for caching and aligns with REST principles. It's also important to document how clients should specify the version and what differences exist between versions. Clear documentation helps developers understand how to switch versions easily and avoid confusion. Using query parameters for versioning offers simplicity because you don't need to change your URL structure. It keeps your URIs stable and makes it easy for clients to switch between versions by just changing the query string. Plus, it works well with many server frameworks that support query parameter parsing. However, there are some things to watch out for. The version is less obvious than in the URL path, which might cause confusion. Your server needs to parse and route requests based on query parameters, adding some complexity. Also, managing default versions and negotiations can get tricky if not handled carefully. In practice, implementing this involves adding middleware or routing logic that inspects the query string of each request. Based on the version parameter, your backend directs the request to the correct code branch. This method makes it easier to update your API over time without disrupting existing clients. Overall, query parameter versioning is a straightforward way to manage API changes. It keeps resource URL consistent and allows clients to easily switch between different API versions. Just remember to keep your documentation clear and your version handling consistent. This approach helps your API grow smoothly while maintaining compatibility and ease of use.